Right, so here we are. We're at Lincoln, we're at the shop. Let's take a look at it. Yes, this is the shop in question. Used to be at Bookmakers. I'm just waiting for the client to get here. You can maybe see in there a little bit. This used to be a Corals bookmaker shop, and we're turning it into a vinyl record shop, vintage vinyl and things like that. I don't think they're selling new stuff, but vintage stuff. So I'll show you and quickly go through what we're going to do. So along here, this is 5.2 meters all the way along this blue section of wall, and what we're going to do is up at this top section where all these holes are, we're going to repair them holes and make good that wall. And then the customer is going to hang vinyl records on hangers on here. This is going to stay as it is, and then we're going to build like a, so you can stand and look at the vinyl, like boxes for it to go all the way here. Hopefully tiered is what we're thinking. So a low level with a certain amount in, and then a higher level, which is probably going to come up to about this height. So you're going to see that small bit there. This light's going to protrude down onto the vinyl to illuminate it. And then you've got like special records up here, a bit more expensive, a bit more premium ones. And that's going to be all the way along there. Along the back wall here, we're going to do very similar. I'm basically going to panel the back wall. I'm going to build a framework today. This is first job today. Build all the frameworks in all these different bays. And then once we've got the framework in, I'm going to panel this wall with MDF to make it good, because it's got all sorts of discrepancies and holes and filler and all sorts. But we're going to do what we've done there. We're going to do basically the same here, and same in this bay at this side. He's going to hang vinyl down to where the vinyl cases, bookshelf type cases finish. He's going to hang vinyl down from the ceiling. Same there, same there. We've got obviously have access for the toilets. This bay here behind me, I'll stand back a bit. That bay there, we're thinking about doing some form of shelving to sell speakers, record players, all that kind of stuff really. Excuse me. Like these columns here, not really sure what we're going to do with those yet. Maybe put posters, bits and bobs like that on them. But yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one really. We're going to have to kind of semi-make it up as we go along with stuff like that, because we're not 100% sure on exactly what we're going to be doing. And then down the middle of the shop, so where that's obviously the counter, I'll show you that in a minute. But in this middle section here, where my new toy is, I'll show you that in a minute. This middle section, we're going to build a double-sided shelf up to 4 foot wide. I don't think it's going to be 4 foot wide, but just a fraction under, so you can stand. You're going to have vinyl shelves behind you there, and then you can stand in the middle and look at 2 tiers this side, and then 2 tiers this side, and we're going to leave a gap here, and then come about 4 meters up to the start of the counter. Have a 4 meters long by 1.2 meters wide big shelving unit in the middle, and that's just going to be for CDs. But I'm going to make it in a manner whereas the bottoms can be removable, and I'm going to make it like 2 CDs wide per bay, and then the bottoms can be removable to actually be able to put vinyl in them, because he's got a big collection of CDs, but he's not going to buy any more once he's got rid of them. So we're going to make it so it's dual purpose basically. Right, I'll quickly just show you the counter before we move on. So I'll put a picture on screen what the counter used to look like now. Right, so that's what it used to look like. And I've obviously removed the shelf at the back, cut down that box, cut down the full height of it, and then I'm basically going to make a straight section along there and then a curved section into the wall there, and just have it as a more manageable height so that people can, it's a little bit more approachable. Yeah, just it's like obviously more this height. I've kept this as a template, or a bit of a template at least. But yeah, it's a bit more of an approachable height. People can come and put the vinyl on the counter. We can have a till or laptop computer on there, bits and bobs, whatever the customer needs. But it's a more of an approachable height. I'm going to make it about 2 foot wide, so the customers can put the things on. We can have the items on we need, and then we've also got a bit of space behind here. So behind the counter, there's 2 cabinets. There's that one, and that one. That one there's got the electricity box in it, so we're just going to leave that. This one has got shelves in it, and it's quite a deep cabinet, so we're going to leave that one as it is. And I think the customer said they're going to put like a record cleaner and things like that on that one. This one I'm not sure. And then behind here on this wall, I think we're going to get rid of that poster thing, but leave that one because there's a window behind that or something behind it. And then we're just going to put some posters and some vinyl and stuff up there and decorate it to make it look nice. But I think it's going to be a perfect shot for the customer, I really, really do. So we've got that bay for vinyl, that bay for vinyl, that bay for vinyl, big bit in the middle, and then this run down here, what's 5 meters long. I think that's going to be epic. And then straight across from the counter, look, we've got where he's going to sell the record players and stuff. And then we can look straight outside. There's my van, look. And look at that. This is the main road into Lincoln down here. So there's parking all along. I'll show you outside anyway, quickly. Yeah, so there's parking all the way along here. Both sides of the road, all the way down. And just up there is the A15, and just up there is the Roman Arch in the top of the high street. So that's the shop. Apparently tomorrow the guy's coming to do the signage on the front of the shop, so he's having his name, all vinyl lettering on the windows, stuff like that, so that's going to look dead cool. So many people yesterday asking me what the shop was going to be and stuff like that, so people are quite excited when I tell them as well. So yeah, going to be pretty cool. I'm going to crack on making this 2x2 framework, and then I'll show you what we're doing from there. Got all the timber cut for the framework, so I'm going to assemble it all together. Just been to screw fix, got some fixings, boards. I'll show you how I've got on today. Here we go, look. So I've done them 600 wide so I can get 2 sort of base pieces out of a shelf. So we've built that all the way along there, that's 5.2 metres. That one at the end's 2.4 metres. This one's 1.9 metres, and you might be saying to me, why is that so close together? Because the customer's not here today. Yeah, the customer's not here today, so what I wanted to do is I wasn't sure whether he wanted to put this one shorter or that one shorter. As in, cut that one down, I'll cut that one down. I think to cut that one down, but I just want, so that this one can be a full, from the edge of that metal all the way along to the edge of that metal, one full strip, which I think looks quite good. This is going to be the central bit, like that. And that's going to be like another little vinyl wall. Obviously I'm going to be panelling the wall along there to make that look nice. Just got a delivery yesterday, which is a 3 metre rail to use with my track saw. Now, I've never had a 3 metre rail before, so I'm absolutely over the moon. It's going to make life so good, because I've got so many long strip cuts to do for all this shelving out of 18mm1/2 inch MDF. I thought to myself, sod it, I'm going to get myself a 3 metre track. Anyway, I wanted a Festool one. I've used one of those before, but a bit much money for like 3,500 quid. So, let me show you what I've got. I don't know how easy this is going to be to get out. Come in a wooden box, and I actually just left it at the side of my house. I've got a 3 metre Makita version. This is the first time I've had it out of the box. and I've been told that the Festool saw fits it, which is the one I've got. So let me get it out of the box. Let's see, this is genuine first time fitting it on. Oh yes, look at that. This is going to be so good. I'm so excited, which is really sad. But it's pretty cool. Right, so let's mark out 600. Let's make the first ever cut. This is a great thing, you can just put a mark at both ends, like I'm doing now. Pop the 3 metre track on. In fact, I think you're supposed to do a cut with it first, aren't you? So let's just take a tiny little strip, because this rubber comes long on the edge there, so I believe you've got to cut it down with like a first kind of cut. So what I'll do is I'll do that now. Right, I'm glad I did that because it took quite a bit of rubber off. That is fantastic. It's very much easier if you've got 2 people, obviously, to line it up at the mark at both ends, but that's as straight as an arrow. Let's see if I can show you. You don't look straight because it's up against there, but it is. Bang on that. Yeah, it feels just as good a quality as the Festool one, to be fair. It's got like 2 nice plastic running rails. Yeah, seems really good quality. And then my other track, I have actually got a Festool one, which is like 1400 long. So I just use that for cross cutting, which I'll do now. Yeah, so this next piece is 1900 long. So I'll just make 2 marks at 1900. It's like having a panel saw, but on site. It really is great. And one good thing with this Festool saw is you can actually use the dust bag that comes with it, which I'm just getting now. Which just kind of screws on there, and that does nearly as good a job as the actual dust extractor. Because it's funny having a cordless saw, but then having to have a electric dust extractor you've got to turn on every time. It makes it a little bit awkward. And then we're able to and that's the base. So that's going to move a base where all the actual records sit on, and then I'm going to put like a gable end on that end which comes up at an angle, I think, and similarly at this end to kind of encapsulate the records. And then there's going to be like a little bit of a 6-inch strip at the front, but the records are going to sit here, and there's going to be a centrepiece. Then it's going to raise up 4 inches, 6 inches, and then the record's going to sit there. So there's going to be a back, a middle and a front, and then dividers that way. And then like the back I'm thinking of tearing up a bit higher You see some record shops where they all run through at one height. Yeah, because at this height where I am now, I can easily see through all these records, whereas if they're up here, to be fair, if they're up here, what's a record? 300. So that's going to be the top of the first record, and then that's going to be the top of the second. Yeah, so the top of that wood there to about there. That's going to be a perfect height, I think, even if you're smaller. Don't know how small that is, but even if you're a bit smaller, you're still going to be able to look through them. So I think that's going to be a good height. And you'll probably be able to see now what I was talking about earlier with this centre one. I'm going to do basically like I've just showed you there, basically like I've just showed you here. I'm going to do one from this side, like this. So you've got 1, 2, and then a centre, and then the same from that side, 1, 2, and then the centre. So you've got 2 trays of CDs or records from this side, and then the same from that side, all the way along. So that's going to be pretty good, to be fair. Right, I think I'm going to cut one more cut here to 600. I'm going to place it on there just so the customer can get a vibe when he walks in the morning of what it's going to feel like for height and size, because we were quite concerned about that centre bay console, whatever you want to call it, centre shelf unit, not having enough room, like in the walkways, we're not having enough room. So I want to just stick a board on that, stick one across the back, and then when he walks in the morning, because I've centralised that the centrepiece, it can see what it's going to look like. Another thing I like to do when I am cutting is cut this side, the closest side to me. It just seems to make life so much easier, even just for like adjusting the track and stuff. You can kind of just lay it on, get that in right, then you just easily hit a solder. So we've got there. They're actually more difficult to open these when they're brand new because they're so grippy. They don't seem to move, but anyway, we'll get over that. That's epic, isn't it? That is fabulous. Super happy with that. Let's go. Looks like a bit like a market stall at the minute with that lot. But once it's all built and I've got fronts on and stuff, it'll look cool, I think. Right, that's it for today. See you tomorrow.